Hi, my name is Kim, and this is my client Michelle, and I've been doing her hair for a very long time. To explain to you how I did her hair today. Michelle is a natural level 5, and she would like to be as blonde as possible. Now, if you're like me, you get a lot of clients like that want to be blonde, but their hair is a lot darker. So you have to come up with ways to make a compromise, especially if they don't want to come in every 5 weeks. Michelle has about 2 inches worth of regrowth, and this is how her hair color looks before. She is about a level 5, and she wants to be a lot lighter. And you can see from this picture that she did have some highlights last time. So we're going to touch up the ones that we had from last time, and then we're going to add some new ones. And I do want to do some of these highlights so that they're taken more like a balayage or like a sombre look. So I want them to be a little further away from the head. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to place the foil in like I would normally do, but then I'm going to slide it slightly down, and then I'm going to put the color inside of the foil as I apply the color afterwards. Just so that you make sure that you get all the gray covered as well as having the highlights done at the same time. So once Michelle has processed for the full 35 minutes, you know that the bleach is only going to lift for about 50 minutes. So the total process does take usually an hour and a half to 2 hours, but after that 50 minutes, the lightener is going to stop working. So you really have to be careful when you are choosing your lightener that it's not going to be too strong for your client's hair. Now, Michelle is a dark base and she has coarse hair, so I use the Platinum Ultimate Platine mixed together. I used the developer of the Platinum and the Platine lightener so that it was going to lift a little bit slower for her hair, so it's not going to damage it while the color processes. Once we take her back to the bowl, I did put a toner on her. I used the 10-3-2 with 15 volume, just to give it a little shine and to kind of blend everything together and make it a little bit softer. Okay, so this is the finished color result, and Michelle was looking for a very rocker type of haircut, a little bit edgy, almost a little bit bohemian also. She wanted a lot of texture in it, so I decided I would do a razor cut on her. Now, I know a lot of people are really scared about doing razor cuts, but if you take it the same way that you would take a regular haircut with scissors, it's really not too scary. The biggest thing is you have to make sure that you use a sharp blade every single time and that you follow a guide. You don't want to just chop away. I've had haircuts like that and they don't turn out well at all. So whenever you start in the back, the most important thing is that as you're going through, you cut sideways with your razor, but you always want to make sure that you check your end points so that you're ending at the same point. Otherwise, you're going to get to the front and you're going to have one side that's way longer and one side that's way shorter. So as long as you're checking and balancing your points as you go, you cut it exactly the same way that you would cut a regular haircut. But it does allow you to give a little bit of a sharper edge, kind of points at the bottom, which a lot of the clients really like. It looks a little bit more lived in and not like they just got their hair cut. Okay, so to style Michelle's hair, I wanted to give her a little bit of edginess. So I started her off with the blow dry. I used the BB texture cream, very small amount. It just gives it a little bit of grit and a little bit of kind of just movement, I guess. And I mixed a little bit of the Surf Infusion, which also gives it a little texture, and this one also has shine to it, so it gave it a little shine. Now to finish this, what we're going to do is use City Swept Finish. And basically, this is almost like using a pomade, but it comes in a spray, so it's much easier to apply. You don't have to get your hands all sticky. So this one, you're going to shake it really, really good, or it comes out clumpy, and you're just going to spray it all over, just like a hairspray, but then just tousle it with your fingers, just like that. And it gives it a nice separation and a lot of movement. So Michelle's all done. I think she's really happy with the results. And the most important thing when you're doing a client's hair is that you listen to them and that you really take into consideration their lifestyle and have a thorough consultation. Most of my consultations are usually with a new client up to 30 minutes. Even with a client that I've seen before, usually it's at least 15 minutes. So as long as my clients are happy, I know they're going to come back to me, and as long as they feel heard and they feel like I'm listening to them, they are definitely going to come back because they know that they can get what they're looking for. So the biggest thing that I do behind the chair, well, there's two things that I do. Number one, I pre-book probably 85% of my clients. The ones that don't pre-book tend to come a little bit later, and usually they go 3 to 4 months versus the 2 to 3 that I prefer. The other thing that I do is I always use one of these referral sleeves. I usually will put 5 business cards inside of this. Michelle goes to work and she knows a lot of people there that I do not know, and they will compliment her on her hair. So that's the best way for me to build my business, because if she gives the business card to even 2 people, and those 2 people come to me, they can send me 2 of their friends, and it just builds quicker than you would imagine. So I really encourage you guys to do your best with your consultations and make sure that you really take your time and listen to your clients so that you can give them exactly what they're looking for.